And the Bombay High Court has slammed the centre's affidavit on faulty ventilators that were provided to a government hospital in Marathwada region reportedly under the PM Cares Fund. Now, in its response, the centre defended the 150 ventilators, 113 of which, according to the hospital, turned out to be faulty. Now, the centre said in its affidavit that the ventilators were provided not under the PM Cares Fund, but under a separate budget. This was apparently under the Make in India budget. Now, the centre went on to shift the blame onto the hospital, saying that the staff operating the ventilators were probably not properly trained. To this, the High Court, however, came down heavily on the centre's statements, asking them to avoid blame game, be more sensitive and focus on rectifying the machines. Remember, the Bombay High Court has in fact made stinging observations against the faulty ventilators which have been found in some of these hospitals in Maharashtra, and these ventilators are in fact being linked to the PM Cares Fund, having been funded through that particular fund. I'm joined by my colleague Mayuresh on this. Mayuresh, so Bombay High Court continuing with its, wrapping the centre over these faulty ventilators which are being linked to PM Cares Fund, and essentially saying that there's no need to get into a blame game as to who is at fault over here, but definitely saying that at this time of crisis, there needs to be immediate steps taken to rectify the problem.
Absolutely. In this scenario of crisis, immediate replacement or the new supply of these ventilators is much required because these ventilators are usually, or basically, they are get used in ICU and especially to the serious or the critical patient. But in the affidavit which the center had given, in that affidavit, they clearly said that the company which provided these ventilators, they provided the perfect ventilators. There was no problem in that. There has to be some problem with the hospital because the staff was not trained. On that particular argument, the High Court came heavily on the center and clearly said that there is no need to indulge into any kind of blame game because after all, people are getting suffered due to these ventilators which are faulty. There are a lot of people who are not getting the proper treatment, and the state or the local authorities or the hospital had to replace those ventilators with the local ventilators. So that's why they said immediate replacement or the repair is much needed, and they have asked center to basically do the needful. If you remember, Tanima, it was Maharashtra's medical education department also which conducted such kind of internal audit, and they found more than 160 ventilators, more than 140 ventilators faulty. They had written it to the center asking them to replace it or repair it. But so far, even they haven't got any kind of reply because all those ventilators were also received under PM Care.
That's right, Mayuresh. We'll, of course, have to keep a track of what happens next in this Bombay High Court hearing of this petition. Thank you so much for joining us with that.